The Honorable Mary Rose Oakar has served in all three legislative branches of government as a member of the Cleveland City Council, member of the Ohio House of Representatives, and a 16-year member of the United States Congress representing Cleveland and 16 suburbs. In the U.S. Congress, Ms. Oakar was a member of the U.S. House of Representatives leadership as a vice chair of the Democratic Caucus. In addition, she served as a member of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization as a U.S. parliamentarian. She has received numerous awards while in Congress, including being named one of the 10 best legislators in Congress for health and women's issues by McCall's Magazine, and also received Legislator of the Year Award from the Consumer Federation of America. She is also well known for her legislative work and advocacy with cancer prevention and has won the American Cancer Society Distinguished Service Award for legislation and the Susan G. Komen Foundation Community Service Award. In addition, during her congressional career, she is recognized by the American Nationalities Movement Award and the Nationality Service Center Leadership in Congress Award for her support and assistance to immigrants of all backgrounds. Finally, she is well known for her work on peace and justice and received numerous awards for her work on Central America and the Middle East. Mary Rose attended the peace signings at the White House, Egypt, and in Jordan. After the peace signing between Israel and Jordan, she accompanied President Clinton to Syria aboard Air Force One. It gives me great pleasure to introduce Mary Rose Oakar.
First of all, how can we thank, they've improved my image by giving me a kiss from all these men. I think that's terrific. But aren't we blessed to have Joe and Jeff and Deneen and Pierre and Pat way in the back there, who's non-Arab, but God bless her, she's worked so hard with her husband. For Cameo and Abby, great to see you again. And George Cody, who helped write the Constitution, or the bylaws, remember that, George? And I want to just thank Mayor Ganim for having his table available and having the vision of forming Cameo. And I can't say enough about Minor George either. Two Republicans who supported me, which was very sweet and important because they really felt very strongly that our people have to be in public life and leadership positions. So I'd like, Mayor Ganim's going to say something, but I'd like Minor George's family to stand up. Alice is here, the twins are here, the wives are here, the sister's here, everybody's here, and Minor's watching us. And aren't we blessed? You know, you mentioned all these candidates, Jeff. Listen, when you get the top candidate, in my judgment, for the Democratic ticket, Terry Hamilton Brown, here, and Matt Dolan, the top candidate, along with Mr. Voinovich, Republicans, and a Supreme Court Justice, and Judge McCaffrey, and all these other wonderful people here, that says a lot about Cameo. And you get clergy here. You know, my own pastor's here from St. Mary's and other wonderful clergy. My mother was Orthodox, though, so I can join in a little bit. But the fact is, this is a wonderful organization. And I've always had the privilege of getting the endorsement. I want to thank some people at my table. And the reason I do that is they represent all of you. And I'm in good company with the Khoury's and Assad Bakery, which has fabulous food, and always. and Mayor Ganim. But my nephew, Dr. Phil DeMille, is here. He treats autistic kids. You know how many doctors who do that? And when I walked in here, 3 of you came up to me and said, Mary Rose, you helped me when I was in Congress to stay in this country. And I did help because I hired a very good person, Trish Khoury, who did my immigration work. And my cousins Tony and Joni are here, Tony Wells and Joni. And we're with the Maloofs. Do you know how much George has done for St. Jude's Hospital and his wife? I mean, they just mirror everybody. And finally, Barb Ferris, listen kids, I taught her in high school. I just look younger. Then she worked for me in Congress, and she worked as a Peace Corps volunteer and was head of all the women in the Third World for the Peace Corps. And now she's come back to Cleveland, where she always was, really in Parma, and she's running for the consul for county government, and if we don't vote for her, pack it in. So, I'm sure I have to do it. Just one other quick thing I want to tell you. You mentioned that I was in public life, and I was blessed by all of you that I was in public life. But I worked for American Arab Anti-Discrimination Committee. After 9/11, I thought of my parents and how they were treated. All of us are treated as if we're terrorists, and we brought civilization to the world. And I just want to give you, and I shouldn't go on, I know, but I want to give you 2 examples, and they're the easiest examples. Okay, but I'm just going to give you these quick because, you know, I'm a woman and I'm the only one woman here. But just very quickly. We had a little kid, his name was Muhammad. And the amount should appreciate this. And he and his parents were going to Egypt. He's born here. And if you don't understand discrimination against our people, these 2 give you a good example. He was born here. His mother's Egyptian and she is an American. His father's on a green card. They're going to a wedding. They said to the parents, you can go to the wedding. You can get on the plane in JFK airport. But Muhammad, 5-year-old kid, can't. Why? Because his name sounded like somebody else's. So they called us and we got it straightened out. Then they got a first-class ticket and all that. That's just a minor example. One other example, lest you think it's just Muslims who are discriminating against. We had a Catholic priest, Father Emil. And every year he goes to the Bishops' Conference in Washington and he gives, tells them how the holy sites are in the Holy Land. He gives them a report. For 13 years he's done this on a visa. Everything was fine. They stopped him in Canada on his way to the United States, to Washington, and they kept him for 3 weeks questioning him. He had his, you know, priestly garb on and so on, and they kept him for 3 weeks questioning him, our people at the border. Finally they called ADC where I worked, and I knew Tom Ridge, the head of it at the time, of Homeland Security. And I said, Tom, why are you keeping this Catholic priest? He's been here 13 times, he has a visa. And he said, well, I'll take care of that, Mary Rose. I didn't even know about it. So the next day, Father gets released after 3 weeks, being stayed in Canada, and he comes to see us and thank us. And I said, Father, what did they ask you for 3 weeks? He said, you know what the first question was? The first question was, Father, are you a Christian Muslim? And he said, well, we all believe in one God. I guess maybe that's true. Anyway, that's the discrimination, and that's minor compared to the big things that we face. And we all have to do our thing. We have to elect the right people who are not prejudiced, who understand the value of our wonderful Middle Eastern culture. Thank you very much. I don't deserve it, but thank you.